Hey guys, happy Tuesday. If you guys remember last week, probably Thursday or maybe even before, I was talking about this cell called the neuron and we labeled it in our notes. And you have your notes here. I should have returned them to you if you actually turned them in so you'd be able to modify it and stuff. But our neurons work in a single direction, so they pass a signal from the dendrite area to the axon terminal. So in this particular case, the signal, the electrical signal, would go from this area to this area, and if you needed it to go from, say, the right side of the screen to the left side of the screen, you need a different neuron flipped in the opposite direction. And I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, feel free to email me or, respond in comments in Google Classroom or something like that. But we talked about this, and that neurons send signals in one way, in one direction. In this particular one, it's going from left to right. So we also labeled all the parts, the dendrite, we have the nucleus inside of the cell here, and then we have this long tail called the axon, and it's covered by this yellow fatty substance called a myelin sheath. And I likened that to like the insulation and rubber coating over a wire in your house. And its purpose is to speed up the electrical signal. And that electrical signal makes its way to the axon terminal, where it would then come in contact with another neuron, and then that neuron would send it on its way wherever it needs to go. So I did tell you last week that I'd have one more lab for you, and this one's called the ruler reaction lab, and you can find this one on Classroom. And it kind of looks like this. The purpose is to see if age has any impact on reaction time, and you should be able to do this in your home with nothing but maybe a stop with a ruler. That's it, and a partner or a couple people. So it could kind of be fun to do with people in your house, and it won't take much time. Write down a hypothesis. I believe that people who are, and I would say younger or older, you pick, will catch the ruler quicker than people who are younger or older. So you want to pick that. Maybe it reads something like, I believe people who are younger will catch the ruler quicker than people who are older because, give me a reason why you think that. I did tell you last week that this yellow myelin sheath, this insulation that is supposed to speed up the signal, after time it starts to decay, it starts to erode away, and that can actually slow the signal down. So I think I told you that last week. So keep that in mind, and that might be what you put in here because for your reason. There is a video that kind of shows you what I'm asking you to do, and you can find that on YouTube. It's linked right here. It is just some other people that I found doing it. Basically, the gist of it is you have a partner drop the ruler and you catch it as quick as you can. They don't tell you when they're dropping it. They just go ahead and drop it, and you catch it and measure where you caught the ruler. And I don't know what type of ruler you have at home. If you have centimeters, great, use that. If you just have a ruler in inches, that's fine, use that and record that data. Remember in science that we just really like the metric system, so my example here is in there. So I'm going to have you do that 3 times with each person. I got an example here. And let's say that person is 12 years old. They drop the ruler once and boom, they catch it, and it took 13 centimeters for them to catch it. They do it again, it takes 12, and they do it a third time and it takes 14 centimeters. And do that with a few people in your house, however many people are willing to do it with you. Okay? You can extend this data table if you have a whole bunch of people in your family that want to do it. I then have you calculate the average for each person. And if you don't know how to do an average, basically you take the trials, so 13 and 12 and 14 are what we did in this example up here. You add those up together. So I have the sum. The sum of those is 39. And then you divide that by how many times you tried it. So in this case, we tried it 3 times. So 39 divided by 3 equals an average of 13, which means it took this example person an average of 13 centimeters to catch that ruler. What I would do then is just compare the averages of people and their ages. So if you found younger people were catching it at shorter distances, you could kind of assume, we haven't done any statistics, but you can kind of assume that they might have a quicker reaction time than older people if they had a larger distance, or vice versa. So you gotta kind of look at your data and look at age. If the lower average relates to the age, that's what we're kind of looking at. And again, this is just kind of for fun. If we were really going to determine that, we'd have to do statistics, and that's just not something that we're going to do in 7th grade. So just kind of a fun little thing to look at. I do have one question at the end. Based on your data, does age have anything to do with reaction time? Kind of explain that for me based on your data. So I'll write that in here. Explain using your data. Okay, and that's it. And then you can go ahead and turn this in for me. And that's your activity for today. Hopefully you have a little fun doing it.